Well, I finally found one. A 2024 way too early bracketology list seed by seed. And then guys, we do have an actual look at the initial 2024 analytical rankings. We're going to break it all down. We've got returning minutes. We've got total talent. And you know what? This is going to change a lot in the offseason. It's important to keep checking this with the transfer portal. But where are we right now heading into the offseason? You do have UConn, I would say, right now. They're going to be really good next year. They ran through the tournament. They're a 1 seed. Purdue, they are expected to get some guard help. The big news there, Zach Edey, really not much of an NBA level prospect, being as big as he is, as slow as he is. So you would expect with the NIL and stuff like that, he would return. And I know people are going to be a little annoyed that Purdue, who already lost to a 16 seed, is sitting on the 1 line again, but there they are. You also have Kentucky, people high on Kentucky. The one thing I'm really surprised at, I'm surprised Duke is on the 4 line in this. I've seen Duke as high as like the number 2 team in terms of preseason rankings. They're a 4 seed in it, but you can also see Arizona, who lost in the first round as well, as a 1 seed. Houston, they're very talented. They're always a team that never has any one and done, so they're probably going to return some talent. UCLA sitting on the 2 line. Tennessee and Miami. Miami kind of being a sexy pick. We'll see which one of the guards return to them. And they also do have a good NIL system in Miami. Then you have Kansas. They're always a perennial power. Marquette. I've seen Marquette. When you look at ESPN's 2024 future rankings, they're number 2 in the nation. Marquette is returning a lot, and they're going to be really good next year. Gonzaga, and then Baylor on the 3 line. You have Creighton, Duke, Michigan State. People are high on Michigan State, and people are also high on Texas A&M on the 4 line. Arkansas, Auburn, Alabama, 3 straight SEC teams. Brandon Miller, 1 and done. He's gone. We'll see who Alabama replaces him with, but they also do return some talent. And then St. Mary's also on the 5 line. I actually don't know if St. Mary's is going to lose anyone. They've got, kind of 4-year players there. It's not like any of those kids are probably going to go to the NBA draft. And then you have TCU, Rutgers. I think Rutgers finally, they should make the tournament next year after they probably should have been in it this year. Maryland, I am not high on Maryland next year. And then Boise State. I don't know if they return a lot, but Boise State kind of went out with a whimper. North Carolina on the 7 line. That's going to be a team losing Caleb Love, but they're going to be very active, I'm sure, in the portal, and they do return a few key pieces there. Missouri on the 7 line. Colorado, people are high on Colorado in the Pac-12, possibly to be a top 3 team. And then Michigan. So this was done about a week ago. Michigan at this point, they lost a kid to the draft. They shockingly lost Hunter Dickinson to the portal. They're probably out of the tournament right now. Iowa, Oregon, Wisconsin, USC as 8 seeds. Ohio State, they've got a nice young nucleus, Bryce Thornton, but they are going to lose probably Sensabaugh to the draft. Memphis, Iowa State, and then Texas all the way down at a 9. Texas replacing a lot of talent. Xavier down at a 10. San Diego State, after making the national championship game, I would expect some significant regression from them. Northwestern, I'm really high on North Texas. They should have been in the tournament. They're a 10 seed. FAU, so I think whoever did this is really, underrating FAU. They should probably be on the 5 line, just looking at their analytics. Charleston sitting on the 11 line. Virginia, Utah State, Oklahoma State, Pittsburgh. Then you have Arizona State as a 12 seed. Okay. Dayton sitting as a 12 seed. Grand Canyon, and then Drake. The auto bids, Louisville, Yale, Akron. I do hear Akron's the favorite in the MAC. Colgate, I actually think it's going to be, Colgate loses a lot of talent. It's going to be either Colgate or Lafayette in the Patriot. UCSB, I highly doubt it. UNC Greensboro, I could see it. Is that UNC Asheville? I highly doubt UNC Asheville makes the tournament. Kennesaw State is going to be one of the worst teams in college basketball next year based on them losing everyone according to the analytics. Iona, I doubt it without Patino. Vermont, yeah, they always seem to win the American East. Maybe UMass Lowell. South Dakota State, yes, with the big transfer from Oral Roberts, we're probably going to be getting a new team coming out of the Summit. Milwaukee out of the horizon. McNeese State, Montana State again. I don't think Montana State would be a 16 seed if they won the Big Sky. Norfolk State, Tennessee Tech, Grambling State, and Fairleigh Dickinson. I would be shocked if Fairleigh Dickinson made it again. And then you can look at the official early rankings. UConn, the clear number one overall team. No, I don't think UConn is going to win the national title back-to-back years. It's just so hard. But looks like they returned 55% of their minutes. This is the big story I'm looking at. Marquette, 99% returning minutes. It is crazy. You can take a look at the overall talent. It looks like Duke has the most talent in the nation at 89. They're 5th overall on these analytics. Creighton sitting at 4th overall. The Big East is going to be really good at the top with 3 phenomenal teams. Kentucky sitting at number 6, although they don't return a ton. They have a super class of freshmen coming in. They've got 3 of the top 4 recruits in the nation. So Kentucky, they're going to be very young again. A lot of one-and-dones. You can see Houston, 42% returning minutes there. Kansas at number 8. Bama at number 9. They're in the 30s, so they're losing a lot. Looks like Michigan State is returning a decent amount. Purdue is returning a lot. Yeah, I like these rankings a lot better. These are more accurate. FAU ranked as the number 12 overall team with a projected record of 27-4, 17-3 in conference, returning possibly 90% of the minutes. There are people saying FAU is going to get destroyed in the portal. I don't see that happening. FAU really doesn't have a superstar player. It's not like a team is going to pay a king's ransom to steal someone from FAU. So I think FAU is going to be very highly regarded next year. Tennessee, St. Mary's, they're returning about 55%. Gonzaga, they're returning basically no one. They're down to 15. Miami could be returning a lot. USC at 17. A&M, and then Colorado at 19. So Colorado, a real big team. Looks like they have a transfer portal advantage. They did get a good transfer kid. But again, these are going to change with the portal updating and everything like that. Washington State with the transfer portal advantage at number 20. Wisconsin, surprisingly, they're returning 90% of their minutes. Wow. North Carolina at number 22. Oklahoma State, Villanova, after a rough year last year, they're back on the list. UCLA all the way down to 25. They return very little, 25% of their minutes. Texas Tech, Baylor down to 27. They don't return a lot. Arkansas at 28. Texas returns no one. They need to hit the portal, and it's going to elevate them if they do. Ohio State getting a shout out at 30. Maryland right behind them. Cincinnati. I thought Cincinnati had kind of an under-the-radar good year, but they will be in the Big 12 next year. That's going to be very hard for them. Providence at 33. Auburn at 34. Seeing if any of these teams, there's a team. BYU returns a lot. Just looking at this list, looks like Wake Forest could be a veteran team. Kansas State, they're going to need to hit the portal a little bit. Iowa State's going to need to hit the portal. 72%. Loyola Chicago should be a lot better next year. We'll see if they can make any noise. Yale returning a lot in the Ivy League. They should be good. Florida State is returning a ton. They were horrible last year. We'll see how they can improve. Again, it is important to say this isn't, some of these kids may end up transferring, but right now this is how much are returning. Montana State at 68. That's impressive, man. Montana State should be pretty good out of the Big Sky next year. 84%. San Jose State from the Mountain West could be good on offense for sure. And then you have St. Bonaventure returning 94%. We'll see if anybody transfers. but right now they're returning a lot there. There's UMass Lowell, Sam Houston State. Just looking at some of these other teams. But yeah, guys, this is a good breakdown on everyone and who returns the most. Long Beach State might be good next year. They play at a really fast tempo. But I did just want to go through this. Xavier, whoa. That is crazy. So I'm guessing Xavier, once they get some players in the portal, they're going to be elevated. But that is a shockingly low ranking. What is North Texas looking like? Oh, they only return 40% of their minutes. That's unfortunate. There's Akron. North Dakota State returns 100% of their roster unless a transfer happens, which it might. But that's impressive. That's good cohesion. Stenson, really good on offense, horrible on defense. VCU, really good on defense, horrible on offense. East Carolina returns a lot. VCU returns no one. And I'm sure a lot of there's going to be a lot of transfers, things like that. Let's actually take a look at the portal right now. All right, so these are the current best players available in the portal based off of this PRPG metric, which is basically college basketball's version of what WAR is in baseball. So these are the best available players. Looks like Perry, a senior guard from North Texas. That's why. So that's why North Texas is really down on the list. And this is the horrors of the transfer portal. Look at the top two players, both from smaller schools, both seniors, both are going to be transferring to get more money. It's sad, but it is what it is. Hunter Dickinson, he realizes he's not an NBA talent, so he's just saying, listen, I'm going to be a senior next year. I want to make the most money possible. He's probably going to go to the highest bidder wherever he ends up. He did shoot a really good percent from three, but you guys can see some of these players here. There are a few players that have already committed to schools, but yeah, the transfer portal is going to continue to fill up, and whenever one of these players joins a school, that will affect their overall rating, so they will improve based on where they go. But that is the current look at the transfer portal. And this is just a final look at the 2022-2023 season. Looks like Zach Edey was the best player in college basketball, by a decent amount. You can see Pickett, 3 players from the Big Ten. Wow. Davis from Detroit. Yes, he's inefficient. He is really inefficient, but he's a good scorer. But you can see kind of some of the top players right there. That's just interesting to look at. But guys, that is going to do it for kind of an early look at the brackets, bracketology, who are some of the best players, who's returning. Let's actually just go to, I want to see who who has the most talent. Let's just look at that. It's Duke, Michigan State, UConn, UCLA, Ohio State, Kentucky, USC, LSU. Returning minutes. North Dakota State, Northern Iowa, Marquette. Dude, Marquette is going to be so good if they don't lose anyone. Projected experience. Southern Miss, number 1 in the nation. Florida Atlantic, if they don't lose anyone. And then I think that's pretty much it. Transfer points. You can see some of the smaller teams already with a number of transfer players. But we will see how that updates. I do want to see who's projected to be the worst team in college basketball. So the worst team in college basketball, who's moving to Division II? Oh, you know what? There's a few teams that might have disbanded their basketball programs. I think St. Francis, New York disbanded their program. That's why there's not 363 teams, but it looks like New Hampshire University is going to be the worst team in college basketball. You can see Green Bay with a 4-28 projection. Lindenwood sitting at 8-24. But we will see. There's Kennesaw State. Kennesaw State returns no one. They're going to be terrible next year, so that's crazy. But guys, that is going to do it for this kind of preview of the 2024 college what is it, 2023, 2024? I guess 2024 college basketball season. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description. I'm, of course, the Depressed Ginger. Thank you for watching.